Hello, everyone, and welcome back to My First Mon. I'm one of your hosts, Jack Martin, alongside the Pokemon Master, Christian Buckley.
Hello, Jack. Well, it's Monday. We're recording now, but getting close to that anniversary for Pokemon, which is exciting, you know?
Yeah, I think you said off air that it's the 27th.
So, maybe, I can guarantee you that we will not be done with Emerald by the time the anniversary shows up, but maybe on that anniversary day, you'll get some teases about what comes next, potentially. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah, there's been some rumblings. But to kick it off here, Christian,
Yes.
We're going to have a bit of a shorter episode.
Yes.
The whole gym to gym method has proved a little wonky this week, as it has in Crystal before.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just one of those cases where the next gym takes like 2 seconds to do. But that's okay. So for those that don't know, this is our Pokemon retrospective series, with this season covering Pokemon Emerald, week by week, gym by gym, like I just said. You can support us over on patreon.com/joyclicks. At the $1 level, you have the opportunity to name the Pokemon in my party, just like Chad Gable was named by Darude Zed. And at the $5 level, you get producer credit and can have your name read out in each episode, just like our Patreon producers, Chris Sakis and Aaron Easton. And finally, you can get involved with the show by giving us any advice or corrections in the YouTube comments for each show, and we will feature you in our Trainer Tips segment. So, Christian, without further ado, would you like to read some trainer tips from our fellow trainers here?
It would be my pleasure, Jack. Regal Beartick. The move Secret Power is used to create bases. It's a 70 base power attack that changes depending on your environment. There's a TM called Thief and is used to steal items, or in some cases, heart scales off of the Pokemon Love Disc. Move tutors take heart scales as payment for relearning moves. So.
Interesting. Now, I have a question about the move tutor before we hit another trainer tip. Can I just go back and be like, I want to learn this specific move, or is it whatever one that they're offering? I think I've already asked this.
I'm 99% sure. Again, I've used it more recently in the newer games, so it could be different, but I think you can go learn any move that your Pokemon has already learned or should have already been able to know at that level.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, and yeah, so thank you, Beartick, for the Secret Power is that move, the TM that I was talking about. So,
yeah, with like the little windows.
Yeah, that'll help you, or trees. So, depending on what you want. Definitely not Pedro hitting us with a bunch. EVs are not something that can be explained quickly, but they are hidden. Just think of them as this. When you defeat a Pokemon, your Pokemon will grow stronger in a particular stat, being HP, attack, defense, whatever. Having the Macho Brace as a held item on your Pokemon will basically make them grow twice as fast.
Interesting. Should I be using this thing?
I guess. Like, maybe if there's... well, you're planning on giving your Makuhita an Everstone, right? You're planning on that?
Honestly, I tried it with Wooper, and Wooper was just super underpowered, so eventually I had to just give in. So
Sure.
I probably won't, honestly.
Okay. Well, if you want to make Makuhita a big, beefy, tanky boy, then maybe just give him the Macho Brace and forget about it.
Okay, I might do that.
Yeah, that might be the best thing to do.
Because I give, like, specific items to... I think there's, like, some sort of seed that I give to Grovyle, because it is good for grass-type moves.
Yes.
So, yeah, maybe that Macho Brace will essentially be that for Makuhita.
Yeah, and, like, there are moves, like, there are items that you could give Makuhita that would boost fighting attacks, but if you just want him to just be a rock-solid tank, like, if you need to throw somebody out to put some heals on somebody and you just need tank hits, then, like, that might be the best path for you, maybe. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Alright, I'll look into that.
A couple more hits from Pedro. Sorry, definitely not Pedro.
It's definitely not Pedro.
It's definitely not Pedro.
Christian.
If Jack wants to use the daycare now, he can, because he can always go and relearn a move in the move reminder. So.
That is helpful. It's a tricky little beast. Because I think I have to give the move tutor heart scales. Is that correct?
Yes, I don't know if this was a slip up or deliberate, but the move reminder might be something else. I don't know if that was just like a shorthand for what we were talking about. But,
okay. I haven't encountered any heart scales, which has me a little nervous for that doing that method.
Yeah, I did. I found one on a rock, but they're very scattered across the entire map. So, also, to follow up on what Christian said, early game Pokemon do tend to hit a power spike very quickly, mainly by evolving earlier than other Pokemon, but falling off late game. A great example of this is Butterfree, which you can technically get by leveling a Caterpie to level 10. Butterfree early on is super strong just because its base stats are way higher than anything else, but later on it starts to lose that strength as other Pokemon will become stronger in comparison. So yeah, again, I'm looking at your team at the moment. I don't think you have anything to worry about. My team, my Swellow, pulling for me so far. You know, we're 5 gyms deep, still doing great, but we'll see.
Swellow reminds me of Pidgey in a way.
Kind of, yeah.
Apt comparison.
For sure. Honestly, I wonder if it'd be worse here because Tailo to Swellow is just a single evolution. There's no third bird for them. So, Pidgey at least gets Pidgeotto, you know, so like. And lastly, from Derivative Z, I will forever now see Slugma as the purple symbiotes from Spider-Man 2000.
Excellent. Slowly ingesting all of my weird analogies to the Pokemon trainers out there, so appreciate you. You know, I came into the show being informed by all of you, and now I could do a little informing of myself to all of you, so there we go, in the most stupid way possible, so appreciate that.
Yeah, well, again, as somebody who also loves that game, I'm glad. You know, bring it to the people, let them know, educate them.
You got to. I just replayed that recently.
Yeah.
Emulated, and which was harder than these games are to emulate just because of the PS1. But
yeah,
found a way, and it's fun. Doesn't hold up gameplay wise, but it's a fun little Spider-Man game. So
yeah,
definitely worth checking out.
For sure, absolutely. I still have that disc for the PS1 game. I have it mounted on my wall in my bedroom above the TV.
It's the cover art for that game is so slick. It's Spider-Man crawling up a wall, and it's the view from above, and you can see the street level. It's very cool.
Very, very cool. So
definitely. So yeah, thanks to all the trainers out there. Thanks for Christian to reading all those. Always appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So like we said, this is probably going to be a shorter episode, even though when we do say that, it ends up being around the same. But just as a heads up, this might be a shorter episode. So we decided to sort of pad out the show with a big topic here. And we mentioned it last episode, so we had some time to think about it. And it is, if given the opportunity, let's say you're going into the Elite Four, and you want like all level, I don't know, 50s or 60s of your Pokemon of your choice, what would be your perfect party? If you could amass 6 Pokemon to fill out the party, what would that be? So Christian, as the Pokemon master, let's start with you, since I think you have a more informed choice than I do.
So I will preface this. This is not my ultimate team, because my ultimate team would most likely be significantly different, aside from a handful of these, because I would pull other Pokemon from later gens. I'm just deciding to do picking from ones we've played so far, you know, just so there's more of a reference there for the conversation. And that being said, everything I did pick, I would still feel very confident in any battle, as long as they were kitted out the way that I like these Pokemon to play as. So kicking off, Heracross, who, absolute tank, you know. Love that he's bug fighting. I feel like it makes up for the fact that most bug Pokemon are weak as hell, because he is a fighting type also. He can tank a good hit, he can deal some good damage. And honestly, Jack, through this show, I know I always say Slowpoke, but Heracross might be like scratching and clawing his way to being the #1 favorite.
Damn. You know me and my bug type aversion, but I do appreciate your love for for Heracross here. I have Heracross pulled up because I don't think I've ever seen Heracross, despite you talking about Heracross all the time. It's like a metal bug looking thing.
Yeah, it looks like, because I named it, and when we played Crystal, I named him Jin, because I was like, oh, he looks like a samurai bug beetle. So that was it, you know. Doubled down on him. I caught another Heracross in Sword and Shield. I got a Heracross on my team in Shield right now, also named Jin. But yeah, I'm loving him. He's great.
Nice. Heracross looks cool, so I appreciate that.
Of course, although I just said Heracross might be the number one, as it stands, Slowpoke is still the number one. I decided to specifically say Slowbro just for the added improvements of evolution, you know. Still water psychic, so dual typing, giving me some good coverage on this team. There is, I'll say this also, in Sword and Shield they introduce Jack, in Gen 7 they introduced this concept of like Darwinian evolution based on regions.
Yeah.
So the Galar region is where we are in Gen 7. There's a Galar version of Slowpoke that looks slightly different, and when it evolves, instead of being water psychic, it's poison psychic.
Whoa.
And you know I love poison Pokemon.
Yeah, you mentioned that last episode.
Yeah, so if we could make an exception here, I would probably pull Galarian Slowbro, or actually no, Slowking. Galarian Slowking is the one that I choose in the new one, but
very cool.
But again, sticking to early gens, I do want poison, so I'm getting Nidoking again. Big tank, heavy damage. Love poison moves just because of the chip damage, the way you can like plan out a battle and just sort of like plant the seeds for the destruction like game as long as you can survive. Oh, poison's so good.
Yeah, I'm looking at Nidoking right now. I don't think I've ever seen like a detailed depiction of that Pokemon. Another beefy boy. Yeah. Another purple beefy boy with some green ears. That's cool.
Absolutely. This next one, because sue me, I'm boring. Raichu. Raichu's a 10 out of 10. Always.
Yeah, Raichu's awesome.
I do love Pikachu. But again, if we're going into the Elite Four, I'm giving my boy an Everstone. I have to. Sorry, not an Everstone, a Thunderstone.
Yeah.
Again, Charizard. It's Charizard. What do you want me to say? It's Charizard. And rounding it out, because I do love grass types, Trico. Trico's evolution line. I don't want to say the final name just to not spoil you, but Trico's evolution line would be the final one to round out the 6.
Excellent. That sounds like a pretty good party. Sounds like you got most of your bases covered.
I have some.
I'm seeing no water here though.
Yeah, I mean, Slowbro is water psychic.
Okay, never mind then.
So, but yeah, lots of dual typing because Heracross is bug fighting, Slowbro water psychic, Trico, grass and dark. Charizard, fire flying, I think. Raichu, again, later on they introduce a Alolan version of Raichu, which is electric and psychic. So you got a lot of wiggle room, but yeah, I like these. You know, for the first 3 gens, this might be the dream team.
That sounds really good. Yeah, the 1992 Olympic NBA dream team.
So
I like it.
Now it's my turn and the audience's turn to judge you harshly based on your experience with these 3 games so far. What is your dream team? Again, rolling up to the Elite Four, level 60s. What do you got?
Yeah, talk about boring, Christian. So yeah, mine is fairly boring. Now the first one I've been battling in my head over, right? Water type. This was the first Pokemon I ever chose. I love my dude Squirtle. But now that I'm thinking about it, I like to have water plus another type. And I've encountered Pelipper this generation. Of course, the evolved version.
Yes.
And I just love having water flying combined. Because I usually don't have flying involved in my party, but having Wingull with water moves and wing attack comes in handy like more often than I can count. So I think it would be Pelipper for that water flying.
Okay, I respect that, because I've never, like, all your justification for Pelipper is sound. And Pelipper, like, it's a good Pokemon. It's clearly done you well so far. But I can guarantee you, I don't think I've ever heard anybody I ever talked to about Pokemon ever highlight Pelipper in that way. So I love that. That's a great pick.
Well, there you go. I was gonna choose Squirtle because, obvious. But if it comes down to it and I need that typing, I think it has to be Pelipper. Yeah. Squirtle is probably my favorite Pokemon, but yeah, I think it has to be Pelipper. Yeah. And then for fire type, of course, Cyndaquil. Yeah. Easy. Easy answer.
Yeah, I mean, you want to say your team's boring? I chose 2 starters. So, yeah, like, I could probably find a replacement for Charizard if I wanted to, but, we're having fun with this, so.
Yeah, totally. Cyndaquil, I was thinking between Cyndaquil and Torkoal. Because Torkoal's pretty cool, it's a turtle, but, at the end of the day, you gotta think the cuteness factor, it plays a huge role.
Sure.
In various different ways in Pokemon. Cyndaquil is super cute. I imagine Cyndaquil just curling up on you. And again, I'm just throwing out, like, this doesn't necessarily have to be Cyndaquil. It could be Typhlosion, for example. I'm just throwing out, like, the base Pokemon.
Sure.
So, yeah. It would be some evolution of Cyndaquil. Probably Typhlosion.
You know what really bothers me?
What's that?
When this conversation comes up of, like, who's your ideal team, and someone's, like, just listing off all tanks or, like, all dragons, it's like, that is so boring. Like, basically, you know what? Be a gym leader at that point. You deserve to get beaten by every little 10-year-old.
Yeah, it's like how what's her name?
Misty?
Misty, yeah, it's like, I want to do an all water offense. It's like, that doesn't sound very good.
No, it does. Like even on an aesthetic level, because I'm glad you're bringing that up too. Like, if somebody's like, oh yeah, I got like Rhydon, Nidoking, Charizard, whoever else, that fits in that mold, it's like, you need a dopey Pokemon, I think. Like, do whatever you want, sure, but like, I think Pokemon is so great, and the way that we play these games is great because it's like you're elevating this dumb, stupid-looking animal to be a champion, and there's something so great about that,
Yeah, I usually err away from the big beefy boys, like you mentioned. Like, I don't need these huge dragons or like even the legendary Pokemons. I use them towards the end of the game, but I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
I kind of just like the run-of-the-mill Pokemon, like we said, building up your team.
Yeah. So, who's next?
So that's water / flying and fire. Now, of course, grass is the next one you would have to choose, for me at least. Now, Trico is pretty awesome. I gotta be honest with you, I haven't really been using Trico all that much this gen. I don't know what the deal is with that. I know I like to... Maybe I've used Trico as much as I've used Cyndaquil, because I've liked to... Unlike my Squirtle, I like to type out my party a little bit more these generations. So yeah, Trico hasn't been used much, but the grass type that I will die for, of course, we remember the story, is Bellsprout.
Yes.
Because Bellsprout has come to bat for me time and time again. And of course I lost my Bellsprout after the daycare decided to like get rid of all the good moves I had for Bellsprout, rendering it utterly useless. So, was searching for just a Bellsprout replacement, and of course, in Crystal, found a shiny Bellsprout, which turned into my shiny Victory Bell, which was one of the best Pokemon I've ever had on a team. So, yes, Bellsprout, no question about it.
Good pick. Yeah, Victory Bell, I think, is super cool. I've never been a Bellsprout guy, just because I hate that it's like, it looks like a bean sprout, it's like this tiny, like, wimpy little root, but Victory Bell is super cool. I've just never been down for the investment at that point. I've always chosen Oddish if I have to, for cut or keeping Oddish in the party. Like, I hopped into my save for Red to look through like who I used in all of our shows, just for some reference, and I had a Vileplume in the end, in addition to my Venusaur. So yeah, Oddish is a solid one. But yeah, both of those, because those are the two, red and blue have like the Oddish and Bellsprout. Bellsprout is absolutely viable. You can definitely do something with that, and
yeah,
good pick.
Thank you. And yeah, again, these aren't like competitive because I'm sure I don't know.
Oh yeah, when I say viable,
I have no clue how to do that.
Yeah, I mean like, hey, yeah, face against the Elite Four, get through the story, you're solid.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think Bellsprout's definitely on that team. Now, I usually have a ground or a rock type Pokemon. Now in Gen 1, it was Dugtrio, and Dugtrio was an unstoppable dig machine, because that's all I used it for.
Yes.
But I found that Geodude or Graveler is a little more versatile because it is ground and rock. Now, Neon Rider in the Discord, eat your heart out, because yes, I think Geodude's gonna be on my team. Geodude's just one of those Pokemon that you can find early on in the game, usually, and it's just dead useful because you have that ground and rock advantage, and I think those two have a lot of advantages over other Pokemon, and they can learn some pretty powerful moves from how I've used Geodudes in the past. Of course, I would name it Chad Gable at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Geodude's a lock on my team for sure.
Geodude is very similar to Pelipper, where my entire life never met a Geodude person, but everything you're saying is factual, so like it's awesome to hear that. So very cool, very good pick.
There it is. And then my penultimate choice, of course, it's got to be Pikachu, or I would say probably Raichu. I'm with you. It is boring, but man, anytime I encounter a Pikachu, you gotta throw it in the party. I didn't see Pikachu at all in Crystal, and I'm hoping I run into it in Emerald, and if I do, Electrike, sorry, you're out of the party. But yeah, I don't really know where to find Pikachu, but Pikachu would be in my party, no question about it.
See, this is why, again, that people talk about that Gen 1, you're a Gen 1er, all that kind of thing, because like, it's like, oh, look at all these super cool new electric Pokemon. It's like, Pikachu! I want Pikachu! It's like...
Yeah.
It's like that for so many types. It's like, oh, you want this cool new fire starter? It's a little chicken. It can evolve into something cool. It's like, no, I want Charizard. It's like... There's a reason for it, It's that iconic nostalgia thing, but there's absolutely that bias.
The developers really have to like dig into the well after creating 100 Pokemon, be like, all right, now we gotta make some more. Probably not gonna be as cool. Of course they do, but
yeah, like
nothing's gonna be as incredible as I think the original Pokemon.
Yeah, there are currently, as of the most recent generation, 898.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There's some real stinkers in there, I'm sure.
There absolutely are.
Yeah, so that's Pikachu. And for the final pick, I'm not a big fighting Pokemon fan, but I think it's worthwhile to have a fighting Pokemon in the party. So if I had to choose, it would be Makahita, because Makahita's cute as shit.
Yeah, very respectful.
And Makahita can throw a punch. I have seen the evolution of Makahita. It's the Panda King from Sly Cooper 1.
Yes.
But I haven't reached that point yet. But it would probably be the evolved version. It would be the Panda King.
Nice. Yeah, I think...
Honestly, I might name Makahita the Panda King once it evolves.
That is not a bad idea, Because, again, as somebody who has also played Sly Cooper as a kid, that Panda King, all the bosses in Sly 1 were sick. So, that's a good pull.
Dude. Clockwork.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. I respect it. It's a solid team. You led with it being boring. I don't think it's super boring, man. I really don't. I can tell you, looking at my list, Nidoking and Charizard, those are boring picks.
I don't know if Nidoking would be.
Oh, Nidoking absolutely is. Nidoking,
really?
At least in my circle, everybody loves Nidoking. It's like, oh yeah, you're playing Gen 1, you need a Nidoking. It's like, dude's a tank. So That's boring, but yeah, your list I really respect. Like the Pelipper Pole, Bellsprout, Geodude, and Makuhita. All those, like 4 out of the 6, those are really like solid original ones. You know, you got a starter in there.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not one of like the top 3 starters, you know, because like there's Charizard and Squirtle.
Yeah.
And like Pikachu, cause duh, you know, it's like it's respectable.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking like 3 or maybe 4 of these will be in my actual party come Emerald's Elite Four.
Nice.
With Pelipper, Geodude probably, Makuhita probably. And if I find Pikachu, then it'll be Pikachu. But that's the majority, I feel. Or at least half of my party for this Emerald game is found here. So that's cool.
Nice. Yeah, I can. And before we close off, I can tell you, we can revisit this list at a different time, I think, because Heracross and probably Slowbro are the ones that would stick.
Okay. So. And then the rest, the 4 would be removed.
The 4 would be slotted out with different Pokemon from later generations, yeah.
Interesting. Well, that was nice and fun. It was cool to hear what you had to say, and from my perspective, the Pokemon I'm familiar with, that's what that would be. But I'm interested to know what the trainers, who I think are probably much more knowledgeable than certainly I am, I want to hear what they have to say. So trainers in the YouTube comments, definitely hit us with your preferred party. I would say do what we did, maybe Gen 1 through Gen 3.
Yeah.
Just like what Christian said, don't maybe try not to spoil any Pokemon I haven't seen yet. So let's say what would your Emerald team be if you could just loop any Pokemon that you've encountered from Gen 1 to Gen 3? I think that'd be interesting to see.
For sure, yeah. And I'll say this too, like, by the end of Emerald, I think out of the 3 gens we've played so far, across the board, I think this will be my favorite team. Like, compared to my team from Red and my team from Crystal, I think my Emerald team will be my favorite one, like, easily. Like,
I think I might be with you there for my own. Because Gen 1, I didn't really know what I was doing.
Right.
And it was mostly a Squirtle party. And some occasional help from some others. But they were, like, leveled, like, 5 to 10 levels lower than Squirtle.
Right.
Crystal was a little bit better. And then I think I'm learning more with Emerald, obviously. Just generation by generation. So, yeah, I think I might be with you on that one.
Yeah, so we'll see how the next few weeks treat us.
Absolutely. So, Christian.
Yes.
I'm going to hit you with that current party.
Please do.
So, after last week's gym, I have a Pelipper at level 27. I have Chad Gable, of course, my Geodude, at level 22. I have Electrike at level 25. Grovyle, level 25. Torkoal, level 22. And I have the egg that is waiting to be hatched.
Yes.
How about you?
I have, I didn't write levels at the beginning of the episode, but my Grovyle, named Kashi, of course. My Swellow, named Grayson. My Azumarill, named Bobber. My Numel, named Ares. And currently in the party, we have a Poochyena named Vlad. So, Vlad is kicking around in the party at the moment as well.
Very cool.
Oh, and I did get the egg, but the egg will hatch later.
So, with this episode, you immediately leave the gym, and Meg comes out, and she gives you go goggles, and says, like, you can use these in the desert, which, that was, like, the route you couldn't traverse earlier. And basically, after that, she was like, oh, and now you should go back and challenge your dad. You're probably ready to do that. So Norman, our eyes are set on Norman at this point. But immediately, and I'm sure you probably did this too, you go to the desert, right?
Oh, I did not actually.
Whoa, where did you go?
I just went straight. Well, I got lost, so I like did the loop of the mountain like twice, just trying to figure out. I was like, so which path do I use to get back to Petalburg? And then I was like, oh wait, if I go south out of Maulville, I think I'll just be able to get Mr. Briny again, and or hop on the bike path and get down to Mr. Briny. But
Yeah.
It took me longer than I care to admit to figure that out.
Yeah, so I went to the desert just because I figured the game was probably telling me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I fought a bunch of trainers. I fought all the trainers in there. Nothing really of note. I saw a tower there.
Yes.
And I was like, I'll visit that later. Because that's how I play games.
Right.
And try to do it. It's not there anymore. And I talked to some dude next to me, and he's like, oh yeah, it just disappears sometimes. I was like, great. I missed that. I tried to make it spawn. I just couldn't get it to spawn again.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in there that I missed out on?
Not right now. Like as you said, you can go back later and try to find it again. But it's not anything relevant, I think, to what we have to take care of this week. I will say though, did you see any new Pokemon in there that caught your attention?
Not that I can recall off the top of my head. Are there any ones in there that stick out to you?
Trapinch, I believe, is one that will be in there. Again,
Trapinch.
It looks like a little turtle. It's orange. Big jaw. I believe you should run into that in the desert area.
Oh, yeah. I guess it is a turtle, but...
It's like a snapping turtle. Kinda.
Yeah, this thing's fucking ugly.
Well...
It's got a big ol' head.
What if I told you that thing evolves into one of the biggest fan favorite competitive Pokemon ever?
Ooh, what does it evolve into?
It evolves into a bug/dragon type named Flygon.
Ooh, that's a great name, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Flygon. So.
Yep. Here it is. Okay. I wouldn't be happy about that bug. That bug typing. But that's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely... there's a lot of Pokemon, and you'll come to see this later in this gen and in others as well, where they're not always what they seem, and sometimes they need an investment, and usually they will pay off. Another instance of that, specifically here, would be Aaron. Aaron takes some time to evolve to its third form comes at level 50, and Flygon is as well. So it's an investment, but once you get there, you're pretty set up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Pokemon like that. So
that's interesting. It's wild because it starts off as an orange Pokemon, which it's not a fire type, is it?
No, I think it's bug. I think it might just be straight bug.
Okay. And it evolves into a green flying type Pokemon. That's really not flying type, but flying Pokemon. That's interesting.
My mistake. It is ground, not bug.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought. Well, because Flygon looks like a bug. So I'm sorry, trainers. You can erase your comment. But yeah. So do you think that changes anything though? Ground dragon? No.
I'm good.
Yeah.
It looks cool. The final evolution looks cool. Flygon, great name.
Yeah. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, there's there's definitely two others this generation that take some time, or maybe three actually because of Aaron as well. Take time. Their final form comes at level 50, but they are very strong. It's like paying you back, So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's a handful like that. So if there's one that catches your eye, maybe, but you don't always know.
I have a question for you. Now, I've been stuck with Pokemon that have very low power leveled special attacks. I still have Ember, I still have Water Gun.
Right.
Is it just that these Pokemon learn Bubble Beam at later levels than traditional Pokemon?
I will check for you right now. I'll see when Pelipper learns Bubble Beam.
Okay. Because I'm thinking I might just have to grind out these Pokemon a little bit just to get those higher leveled moves.
Yeah, I think you might have to, because, like, Oh, actually, you know what? Pelipper does not learn Bubble Beam naturally. So,
Whoa.
I can tell you right now, it will learn... So you said it knows Water Gun already?
Mm-hmm.
You'll learn Water Pulse at level 20.
I don't think I did.
Okay, so that might be worth a visit to the Move Tutor.
Yep.
And at level 62, you will learn Hydro Pump.
Ooh, 62.
Yeah, so
I don't know about that one.
Pelipper at this point would be a case of find a Water TM, like a Bubble Beam, or if you come across a Hydro Pump, something like that. Because, yeah, we didn't really talk about that too much. Do you find yourself ever using TMs much?
I did this go around. I gave Overheat to Torkoal.
Okay.
I like the ones it comes down to if I'm in like a fight or like a gym that requires a certain type. I'm like, I have this TM and I might as well give it to a Pokemon. But ordinarily I don't. I think now that I know that about Pelipper, I'll be on the lookout for that. So I'll probably start doing that. Also, I have Surf by the end of this episode. Should that be a Pelipper move, you think?
I don't know if... I'm assuming Pelipper can learn it. Like, I'm checking this list right now. Because there's Pokemon that can't learn a thing that makes no sense.
Yeah. Because I've used Surf on my, like, go-to water Pokemon, and it's a pretty good water move from what I remember.
Yeah, so from the looks of it, I don't know. This is it says Pelipper is compatible with these technical machines in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Okay.
So I don't know if Surf is not listed here. I feel like I've been able to use the move in battle in that game. You can learn Fly, but it does not look like you can learn Surf.
Interesting.
Actually, no, you can. Sorry.
Okay.
It was under a different section, because, again, future stuff, Sword and Shield introduces TMs and TRs for some reason.
Yeah.
TRs, I think you can only learn once, but TMs stay with you forever now. But yeah, so you should be able to teach Pelipper Surf, and that is also a very good move, worth replacing Water Gun for. You'll be set there.
Okay. I know Surf has fewer moves. So maybe I'll figure it out. But
you should be able to use a... I'm assuming you have one of these. I think I have one of these, but a PP up to like give them an extra one. You can save that for Surf probably.
Excellent. Yeah, that might be the move, Christian. Might be the move.
Very nice.
So there it is. And it looks like this happened to both of us. So we got the egg in our party, of course.
Yes.
I'm sitting around in the hot spring. I'm walking around. I don't think it really does much. Maybe it does. And why not hatches from the egg?
It does.
This thing's cute.
Yeah.
It is a psychic Pokemon. Am I correct?
I can double check for you. I think it is. Also, in regard to the hatching in the spring thing, I realized why I thought that, because I went into one of the houses and they said as much. They're like, hey, maybe if you sit in a spring with an egg, it'll like help it hatch faster. So I don't know if that's still true, but the game did say it. So also, yes, psychic.
Yeah. Is this a good Pokemon, Christian? Because immediately it was like super underleveled. I just read that it was a baby Pokemon. I was like, I don't typically use psychic Pokemon.
Yes.
So tell me all about this one.
So why not is interesting, because I also have a why not in my team at the moment. I named it Elvis.
Oh hell yeah, because of the hair.
Yes. I don't know if I'd say it's good. Like, here's the thing: it evolves into a Pokemon that is iconic from the anime.
Ooh, who's that?
Wobbuffet.
Boba Fett.
Basically, yes. But here's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if Wobbuffet is a good Pokemon. I cannot tell you that. Psychic is usually great, but I cannot tell. Like, again, it might be reviewed on a competitive scale. I don't know. But Wobbuffet, if you want a Psychic type, why not? You know? I think that's what this is meant to be. It's like, hey, you want a Psychic? We're gonna give you this egg. Why not him? That's why his name's Why Not. Like, here you go. Go for it. Maybe that's it.
That's, yeah. Okay, I'm looking at Wobbuffet. It's cute.
Yeah.
I'll say.
I like Wobbuffet.
Good evolution.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't use this thing.
Yeah.
It's a Togepi situation. Although Togepi was, I think, a normal type. In Crystal, at least.
It might have been Psychic, because its evolution is definitely Psychic, I think. But, I do, like, Togepi when a Togepi evolves, I think Togekiss is the final form. That is a good Pokemon, so.
Togesaurus, maybe? Or am I just looking up something that's fake?
That might be wrong.
I might be looking up, yeah. The first thing I was, I think this is a reimagined thing. My apologies.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, Togepi just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, but the case of Why Not, I do think Why Not is maybe not bad if you want a Psychic type. Because again, it'll evolve to Wobbuffet, and Wobbuffet can learn some Psychic moves. I think it can take some hits too, so like, that's all right. I don't think Elvis is sticking around for a long time. Just this episode, Elvis was in the party till the end, so
yeah. Well, that's cool. So yeah, I was like, that's cute, but I deposit Why Not for Zigzagoon. Just because I need Rock Smash, which super annoying. The rocks in the cave between Verdant Turf and Rossborough disappear like once you use Rock Smash, but the ones from Mauville heading north don't. They have to constantly be Rock Smash. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. I'm not a huge fan of the way that there's no world persistence. Again, it's like technical limitations. But at the same time, now that I'm thinking of this, the most recent remakes of Red and Blue, or Yellow, with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I think the trees respawn. So, like, you still... I mean, it's not a big deal because there's no HM thing anymore. It's just your Pikachu or your Eevee knows it, but you still got to go through the motions of, like, cutting something down every time you want to go through a path, but...
That's fine.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Oh, well. So yeah, at this point, I, like what I mentioned, I give Torkoal Overheat instead of Fire Spin. I was not using Fire Spin all that much.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't super powerful. Turns out I like Overheat. It's very powerful, but it also has like a very big drawback to it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I think that was a good choice.
Yeah, it probably is. You know, because like there's some moves that they're good enough, even if there's a drawback, that like having one spot for them is okay. I would never do anything like that for a move like Self-Destruct. That just is foolish.
Self-Destruct is like one of the worst moves, I think, in Pokemon.
It sucks. Like, I'm sure you can make a really awesome, cool, gimmick competitive team out of Self-Destruct, but like, no thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good choice, you know? And you got 3 other slots, so you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much all I do until I get to the gym. Did you do anything else on your adventure before you head to Norman?
I did a little bit of grinding, I guess, because I faced Norman once and died. So my Numel, Aries, has evolved into a Camerupt. Which is very nice. So currently most of my team, with the exception of Elvis and Vlad, are sitting at like low 30s. So I was a decent amount, like 4 to 5 levels higher than most of Norman's Pokemon. That being said, I still had to fight him like 3 times. But yeah, other than that, just a little bit of grinding to make the team a bit more competent going in. But what about you?
Yeah, I think I'll probably have to do some more grinding, because when I encountered Norman's Pokemon, my higher level Pokemon were like 2 to 3 levels below
Okay.
his Pokemon. So yeah, I think getting to the 30s, maybe I'll have to do a little bit of grinding, because I'm trying to have every member of my 6-person party be around the 30s, which takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably have to revisit some trainers and whatnot.
Yeah, and I'll say this too: if there's certain Pokemon you're not super in love with on the team right now, in like the second half of the game, most of the time when we run into Pokemon, they'll be like high 20s, low 30s. So
True.
It would be much easier to replace. You know, like if Zigzagoon isn't doing it for you anymore, and you find this new Pokemon that's super cool. And you catch it at a level 30, then that takes away some of the work, you know. So like, don't sweat it too much, but yeah, it's good to play him like that for sure.
Definitely. So yeah, we get to Norman's gym, and this is one of the more different gyms.
Yeah.
And I like this one a lot.
I do too.
Because it's his trainers scattered in different rooms, and you basically defeat the first trainer, I believe, or you get an option. Of 2 doors, and there's a whole bunch of these options throughout this whole process, where the first one is, do you want to, it's like, this is the room of speed versus accuracy, I believe, or it's something like that, and then you choose like which fight you want to go up against. Like there's a 1-hit room fight where probably you're gonna get down in 1 hit, so you do as much damage before that happens. There's a confusion room where basically like your Pokemon will just be confused the entire fight because of that trainer's Pokemon. There's these just little gimmicks that you have to choose to get to Norman himself. But I like, because I think Norman uses pretty much all normal type Pokemon. So it seems like his gym is just like running the gambit of different status effects, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, because I really like this gym for the exact reasons you're saying, because it makes you have to like pay attention to what's going on underneath it all, kind of. Outside of the basic, like, oh yeah, you know, fire beats grass. Because there are these mechanics in Pokemon where confusion, stunning, sleeping, stuff like that are involved, you know, and they can actually seriously mess you up. And like, if somebody's trained well enough, they can wipe a team. You know, thankfully, in this gym, most of these trainers only have 1 Pokemon. So there is just the 1 gimmick, so it's not like, or not gimmick, the 1 strategy. Right. So it's not like you're bashing your head in. You know, once you figure out what the thing is for that room, you can plan around that. But I really do like the gym. And I think it's funny that it's a normal type gym, because the layout's super standard. It's just kind of like a dojo, and it's like, hey, make your choices, go along with it, no big deal, no big drama, you know.
Yeah.
But
this is one of those gyms where I went and fought each of the trainers, even though it was optional. Like, I got to the point where I could get to Norman, but I went back to the rooms I hadn't visited to, partly just to see what else was going on, and also to just level up my Pokemon when I had that chance.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was a nice little gym, a little different than what you normally see.
For sure. Also, normal. You know.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. We get to Norman, who I believe is the man in pursuit of power.
Okay.
And he's your father, of course, Norman Osborn. And he throws out his first Pokemon is Spinda.
Yes.
Now, from the fights we had earlier, this is like a Pokemon that uses a lot of like confusion type moves. So my Pokemon in my like the first party position is Chad Gable. Of course, my Geodude. Spinda uses Teeter Dance. Chad Gable uses Magnitude 8. And then Spinda uses Psybeam. Chad Gable hurts himself with confusion. I'm like, this is a little too much for this dude. I'm bringing out Torkoal. Spinda uses Psybeam twice. I use Ember. It uses Psybeam. Then I use Ember, and I get the Feint. So, a little bit rocky at first with the first Pokemon, but it's done. It's over with.
Do you feel like that is rare for you? Like, do you feel like in any fight, first Pokemon is ever an issue?
Not usually. Usually, like I say, like it's a few hits and then it's done.
Right.
I didn't know what to expect with this gym because the greeter at the door of the gym usually says, "Hey, this trainer uses these types of Pokemon, so beware."
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say that for me, so I had no clue what type of Pokemon this dude was going to be using. So
Yeah,
I was a little nervous at first.
Mm-hmm. And I that is part of why I like it too, because it's this big question the whole time, and it's funny that it's like you're evaluating everything, but it's like it's normal, you know, like what is there to look into, you know? So I do like that a lot. This gym is really cool, but
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
The second Pokemon that Norman throws out is Vigoroth.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Grovyle come out. Grovyle uses Fury Cutter to like no effect essentially. Vigoroth uses Facade. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you are.
Okay. I didn't know if it was actually the word facade or something else, but yes,
No, yeah, it's
Facade. Pretty powerful move against me usually.
Yeah. So was that in a? I know you said you used Fury Cutter, but was it in an instance where you gave Vigoroth a status effect?
No.
Okay.
Because Fury Cutter is just like a normal attack move.
Right. So
It's a bug type.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had like a stun spore or something like that on him. Or poison. Yep. Yeah, because Facade, as you'll find out later, allows you to like stack damage if they also have a or actually if you're inflicted with a status effect. So it would have been if you had an issue, but I don't think you would have.
Oh, gotcha.
Or whoever's using it, I think. So go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, Grovyle using Absorb, not really very helpful here, and then Slash from Vigoroth faints Grovyle. So I'm like, okay, that was pretty fruitless. Bring out Pelipper, Facades me again, Wing Attack. It uses Slash. I use Water Gun. I give a Super Potion to Torkoal at this point because my thinking is I think Torkoal's going to be my tank for this fight because it seemed to work pretty well. It's a slash fest from here on out, Christian. Vigoroth uses Slash. I bring out Torkoal. A couple more slashes. I use Ember. Pretty much, I think I get it down to like negligible health. And then, of course, Norman uses a Hyper Potion.
Yeah, the disrespect.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Then I use Ember. It uses Slash. I use a Body Slam. It uses Facade, and then I get a feint with another Body Slam. So that is Vigoroth. A little more difficult, I would say.
Also, one of the Pokemon that helped you move into Little Root. That's the one.
Oh, yeah. One of the movers, huh?
Yeah. I wonder if it was this one.
Well, I'm glad I got my revenge for making me sit in the back of the trunk.
Yeah.
Or back of the truck.
Yeah.
So.
So.
Dead and gone. Lanoon comes out to party.
Yes.
And I immediately give a Super Potion to Torkoal.
Okay.
Because I'm like, all right, I'm all in on Torkoal at this point. It's gotten, I think, 2 feints so far. So, it uses Facade, uses Slash. At this point, I was saving this move, so I use Overheat. And it takes 3/4 of its HP. So I'm like, all right, that was a good decision, at least for this Pokemon.
Yeah, very nice.
And then it uses Slash, and then I use Body Slam to get the feint. So that's Lanoon. No real issue. But then we get Slacking. Is it Slacking?
Slacking, I think.
Slacking, yes. Very difficult, this Pokemon, I will say.
Yeah, I got to Slacking, and for each 3 attempts, Slacking is what did me in. Granted, I had a level 12 and a level 1 in my party as well, taking up 2 slots. But yeah, the Slacking is notoriously tough. If there is a Pokemon, I think, in this game, at a gym, that's the equivalent of Miltank, I do think it's Slacking. Because it's just a wall. Its defense is so good.
I think I got really lucky with Slacking. Because immediately I brought out Electrike. I don't know why. I was just like, I bring out every person in my party against Slacking, I think, at the end of this.
All right.
Just because I just went through everyone. But I brought out Electrike. I'm like, let's see what Electrike can do. instantly it uses Facade and gets a 1-hit. But because I brought Electric out,
Smart.
it's static. I didn't even plan for this. I should not be commended for this. It's static, paralyzed, slacking. So I didn't even. You beat that guy up without even touching him. That's exactly what happens here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did not intend for that, but that's a very welcome addition to my unplanned move. So at least there's some level of paralysis on slacking here, and it does help me out later in this fight. So that's nice.
That's great, because even I don't know if the game would change its plan based on if it was paralyzed, but there are some. Actually, no, I don't think it could, because there are times even in a standard battle with slacking where slacking can't move. It just will be like, oh, slacking is loafing around as a thing. So if you have the odds of that showing up in between attacks and it being paralyzed, you're good. You're fine.
Well, that's exactly what happens here.
All right, let's hear it.
Super nice. So I bring out my Zigzagoon.
Okay.
Basically, this is super low level. This is an attempt to heal my Pokemon. So Super Potion to Torkoal. And like I said, and like what you said, slacking is loafing around here, which... Is this a move? Is it just deciding not to go?
I think that's their way to, like, nerf it, kind of. Like, you have this raw power that when it works, it's like, hell yeah, tough luck beating me. But you have the drawback of you could issue a move and then slacking could just be like, not this turn. No, I'm good. You know, I don't really feel like it, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Slacking is slacking, you could say.
Yes.
So, yeah, exactly. Comes in very handy for me, because I then use a Super Potion on Pelipper, and then, of course, Feint Attack one hits my Zigzagoon, of course, I was expecting that. Bring out Torkoal. I use Overheat here, even though I know my special... attacks are just super underleveled now because I've already used that. It takes half its HP, so that's nice.
Very good.
Loafs around. I use Body Slam. It's paralyzed. I can't move. But it uses a status berry for HP. At this point, my Torkoal is kind of useless in a way because its special attacks are just super underleveled now, or underpowered rather. So I use Overheat again. It loafs around. I use Overheat again. It's paralyzed. I use Body Slam. Loafs around again. Also uses a Hyper Potion.
Ugh.
Big no-no. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was like pretty low. Its HP was pretty low. And I was super annoyed.
See, in this situation, I've also been going through my whole party, but he's been able to get attacks on me. So I have like my Grovyle left and a Why Not, you know, and then at level 1. And then he hits me with a Hyper Potion. It's like, okay, well, I got 90% of that health down with the dead Pokemon on my team. So, like, that was the rinse and repeat. I did get lucky. I saw, or you might have seen in the doc, I wrote that Why Not to level 9 now. I got Why Not in the fight for 1 second to do like a switch, and it worked in my favor, so just got like 800 XP. So it shot right up to level 9.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I bring out Pelipper at this point because I'm like, Torkoal like really has Body Slam and that's it.
Yes.
That's useful. So it loafs around. I use Wing Attack. Not too much effect, I think. And then Facade 1 hits my Pelipper. I'm like, oh boy. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
So I sent Torkoal back out in an effort to heal my Chad Gable, who was pretty injured at this point. Loafs around. I use Body Slam. It counters, but of course... Oh, no, excuse me. It counters my Body Slam with a Body Slam. I think that's essentially what that is. And then I bring my Chad Gable out. Sloping around. I use Magnitude 6. I think it does some damage. It's paralyzed, so I use Rock Throw. Loafs around. I use Rock Throw. It misses, and then it one hits me with a Feint Attack. So Chad Gable down for the count. Very sad.
That is rough.
At this point... Torkoal is my last Pokemon left, I believe. Grovyle was fainted by someone. I'm forgetting who.
Was it early? I thought it was early in the match, maybe.
It was. Yeah, it was. I think it might have been Vigoroth. Yeah, it was. Vigoroth / my Grovyle. So Grovyle was down for the count. So Torkoal was my last Pokemon. I used a revive on Grovyle. Loafs around, I revived my Pelipper. It countered, but I didn't have a move before, so it's not effective. I'm essentially getting like this string of like ineffective moves from slacking here. So super helpful.
Yeah, that's very nice.
I use Body Slam. It's loafing around. I give a Super Potion to Pelipper. It counters again, not effective. Use a Body Slam. Loafs around. Give a Super Potion to Torkoal, who I'm using right now. It's paralyzed, and then I do 2 more Body Slams, and I get the faint, and that's Norman. So,
well played.
I'm gonna give the MVP award to Electrike.
Yeah, Electrike. Like, honestly, I know you were saying things about maybe replacing it, but like maybe worth the investment at this point.
No, here's the thing though. Electrike was utterly useless.
Sure.
But it just happened to be useful in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was it. There's a few times where slacking is paralyzed here, coupled with the loafing around nature of slacking. Came in handy a lot of times in this fight. So shout out to Electrike.
Yeah, one of the most magical moments I think in any Pokemon experience is when, at least on my level growing up, I never really paid attention to status effects. But then, the bonus moves, whatever you had, and then it would be like, oh, somebody tackled Raichu. It's like, oh, but they paralyzed him because of its fur. It's like, fuck yeah.
Oh, so certain Pokemon do, like Pikachu wouldn't have the static effect. Like Electrike, is that correct?
It depends. Some Pokemon have
a random electric Pokemon wouldn't.
Yeah, I think all Pokemon have an ability like that, or most of them do. Sometimes it's not apparent in that way. Like, there's a Pokemon called Krogunk in Gen 4, and Krogunk, if he gets hit with water, any water attack, no damage. So it's stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Very helpful.
So yeah, that's Norman.
Nice.
We get the balance badge. We can use Surf outside of battle, and I write down, I need Surf now. But immediately after this, I don't even think you can move outside the gym.
No.
I think it's Wally's dad who comes up. Oh, you also get the TM for Facade. Wally's dad comes up, I believe, and it's this cutscene of him walking you to his house and giving you Surf. I don't know why that was in there at all, but yeah, there it is. We got Surf.
Maybe it's because like they don't want you to go on some wild goose chase of where to get this HM, like they have in the past with Fly, where Hoenn is like at least a third water. So like you need this to like traverse the next few areas. So like yeah, it's very jarring, based on the past of like, okay, where do we find Surf? It's like, oh, just got it, great. It's like cool. But
I think I know what I want to do now. Talking about leveling up.
Okay.
And boosting a little bit, doing some grinding. I know when what's his name with Mr. Briney took us for a sailing adventure. We passed a bunch of trainers in the water.
Yes, you did.
And I'm thinking like I wouldn't naturally have to go back that way again. I can just use Mr. Briney if I want, but I'm probably just gonna use Surf, get in there, and just fight all of them just for the XP.
That's probably a good idea. Be prepared for lots of water Pokemon. Clearly,
Grovyle's gonna love that.
Yeah, exactly, and Electrike too. Level of Electrike. Yeah. Even if it's lower, you hit him with a good Thunder Shock or something, they're dead. Eat that XP.
I think that's an EXP share as well. I'll probably be using that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very solid. Very solid.
Here's a dumb question.
Let's hear it.
If I put EXP share on the Pokemon I'm using and I only use that Pokemon,
Yes.
do I get extra XP?
No, you don't.
Okay.
I'll say this though too. If you're planning on just staying in the water mostly, then I'd probably give it to like maybe a Makuhita or somebody else that's like not going to be super effective, and then just swap out between Grovyle and Electric, because Electric in the next like portion of the game could be super valuable for you. Same way Grovyle will, just because it's water time basically. Like we're gonna be surfing a lot, like a lot in between future stuff.
Was it Derivative Zed who said bring your swim trunks? One of the trainers said that. I think
back in like episode 1, the preview episode, I think. So
I think it's time.
Yeah,
I think it's time.
Yeah, get ready. We'll see. I'm very curious for next week, because it's a lot of water traversal. Extra tad bit of homework for you.
Okay.
Any new water Pokemon that we haven't seen yet in any gen, I would like reviews of.
Okay. All right.
So maybe take some little notes. You don't have to do a full sketch or anything, but just like a name, a note, what you think of it. Because I was revisiting some of the lists of like Pokemon in this gen earlier, again trying to dream up this list. There's a good amount of fish. So or like water-ish Pokemon, so be prepared for that.
I know we have to use Surf. I looked at the map. I know there's like a big area on the right that is just a strip of water that you have to cross. So I know that's probably the next thing we have to do. But I think I'm going to do the Mr. Briny route all the way to Slateport, I think, which I think there's probably tons of trainers. I also think there's a ship in the middle of the water. Maybe I could go there. Might be a beefy episode next week.
Yeah, I have a guide pulled up right now. For this week, it said it had Route 111, Route 115, Rustboro City, and then Petalburg. That was this week.
Yep.
Next week, it is Route 104/108, a thing, Route 109, Slateport, a route connection, another building, a thing, a city, a route, a thing. Like there's a good amount next week. I think next week is comparable to last week with the Heat Badge and meeting Team Magma. I think in terms of content, that's probably comparable. So be prepared.
Cool. Will do. Until then, Christian, where can the people keep up with you?
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok at Chun2D2. What about you?
Very nice. You could follow me on Twitter at Fascinated Jack. We have a Marvel's Avengers podcast called Excelsior. It's on JoyClicks.
Big week.
Find it on podcast services. Yeah, huge week. You could say that about any week with Marvel's Avengers when there's any news, apparently. But this is a particularly big week because for those that keep track of it, Hawkeye is being fully detailed. By the time of this posting, that will have already happened. But Christian and I will have a detailed breakdown of that War Table blog, all about Hawkeye. And if that isn't enough, we'll have another episode on Saturday, going into more details about that, and also talking about the latest episode of WandaVision. So if you like the MCU, you can just watch that episode, skip ahead. We're all about the MCU on that channel. So yeah,
for sure.
It'll be a good week for Marvel fans, definitely. So check it out. But yeah, until next time, we'll catch you later.